Hello students, welcome to Mother Children Academy. Students, today we are discussing the topic is the D and F block elements. So let's start the D block first. So this is the D block, students. So what is D block? So D block means the outermost electrons are occupying in the D orbitals called as a D block element. Right, students? Outermost electrons, or may say valence electrons, are occupying the D orbitals called as a D block element. So D block elements are here coming, which is from the third to 12th group. D block elements start from third to 12th group, right? Or this is a definition also. The 3 to 12 group of element called as a D block element. 3 to 12th group of element called as a D block element. So 3D series elements are scandium to zinc. 4D series elements are uranium to cadmium. 5D are lanthanum to mercury, and the 6D are actinium to xenoniums, right? So these are the D block elements, right, students? So let's start the D block element and their property we will discuss here, students. So D block elements are the 3 to 12 group of elements. 3 to 12 group of element called as a D block element, and it is characterized by the why it is called D block, because of filling of inner D orbitals. Filling means the shifting of the electrons in the D orbitals. Therefore, it is referred as a D block element. Right, students? So these elements are general electron configuration is n-1 D and D 1 to 10, ns 0 to 2, like this, students. n-1 D in which 1 to 10 electrons are occupying, and ns in which 0 to 2 electrons are occupying here, right, students? So what are the D block elements are there? The D block all are metals. Metal means they are malleable in nature, ductile in nature, and the good conductor of heat and electricity, lustrous in nature. So that is a metals. So mostly forms the colored ions. They are mostly forms colored ion. When the D block element combine with some other species, then they form the colored salt. For example, students, in the class 10th you may observe the copper sulfate, which is the blue color salt, right? And the FeSO4 is the brown color. So D block, copper is also D block, iron also D block. Both are, when they react with some species, they give the colored compound, right? Okay. So they having the variable valency. Variable valency means, students, the valency is not fixed. The valency in the group 1, 2, and group 13 to 18, 13 to 17, where it is decide the valency based on the number of unpaired electrons. Right, students? So here the unpaired electrons are exist here. The more number of unpaired electrons are existing, when they turns into atom to ions. So that's why they having the variable valency. When the atom turns into the ions, it having the variable valency. So I will give an example in the next slide, students. In this chapter, now only, right now, within 5 minutes, I will give the example in the next slide, right? Okay, and they are paramagnetic in nature. Paramagnetic means, students, so when the element, any element which is turns into the ionic form. So ionic form, in the ionic forms, the d orbitals in which contain the unpaired electrons, either 2 or more than 2 unpaired electrons are present here in the d orbital. That's why it is called as a paramagnetic in nature. And the D block element used as a catalyst. Catalyst means the substance which increase the speed of reactions. For example, nitrogen and hydrogens are they cannot react with each other in a chamber. Nitrogen and hydrogens are you are kept into the chamber, but both are cannot react with each other. But when you add the iron catalyst, it turns into NH3 ammonia. However, zinc, cadmium, mercury, the electron configuration NS-1 D1 to 10 and NS2. They make correction students here the NS2 and do not show the most important transition element. So look at here students, the magnetic property of the d block element. One is paramagnetic, another is diamagnetic. Paramagnetic means look at here the chromium. The how many unpaired electrons? 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6. So that's why it is the paramagnetic, right? When chromium turns into chromium ion, again it becomes 1 2 3 unpaired electrons, so it is the paramagnetic, right students? Cobalt turns into cobalt ion. Cobalt emits 2 unpaired electrons. When that turns into ionic form, 1 2 3 4 unpaired electron, so these are the paramagnetic nature, right students? So and diamagnetic means which is the all are the either atomic form or ionic form. Zinc atom turns into zinc ion. Again the electrons are pair forms. That is we call as a diamagnetic, right students? Okay, the transition metal bridge between the chemical active metals S block element is less active than 3 less active element of the group 13 14s. Thus the familiar name is a transition. Why these d block elements? Why these d block called as a transition? Why this called as a transition? Because when you are shifting from this is S block, this is P block, and this is the D block, right? When you are moved from the left to right, the left side elements are more reactive and the right side elements are less reactive, right? When you are shifting from the more reactive element, the S group, to the P group, in between them the D block elements are occupying here. That is called as a the transition element. It means the when electrons are the doing the shifting, the active to unreactive metals, there the transitions are occurs here when you are moved from left to right. In between them D blocks are occupying. That is called the transition element. So D block element, the complete row often 10 elements, each element having the 10 elements. Already we have seen the scandium to zinc 10 elements are present, and ertenium to the mercury 10 elements are present here, right students? And lanthanum to the silver, this is silver, and this is the mercury students, right? So the first row, second, third row transition elements, they are classified as a first transition element, that is a 3D series, second transition element 4D series, third transition element 5D series, sixth transition element 6D series, right? So first transition element, the scandium to zinc, atomic number 21 to 30. It is a fourth period. It is a fourth period, and the D orbital electrons are shifted here. D electrons are shifted here, right? The second transition series, ertenium to cadmium, the fifth period. The second transition series, ertenium to cadmium, atomic number 39 to 48. The fifth period, and the 4D electrons shifted in the 4D orbitals. Third transition series, lanthanum to mercury, atomic number 57 to 80. The sixth period, and the electrons shifted in the 5d orbitals. In the last one, the fourth transition series actinium to rutherfordium, 7th period, and the electron shifted in the 6d orbitals. Right, students? Okay. General characteristics of d block elements. These are high melting point and the high boiling point, because the whatever the elements are present, the elements are so metallic in nature. They are hard, rigid substance, so that's why high melting and high boiling point. And they are colored compound. Already I told you, the copper sulfate is the blue color, and the FeSO4 is the brown color. It means each compound, which each element, when they forms compound, it gives the colored compound, right? And there are good tendency to form complex. These are the complex and exhibit the several oxidation state. The D block element, the oxidation state is not fixed. For example, iron turns into Fe plus 2, or sometime iron turns into Fe plus 3. The oxidation state is plus 2 plus 3. It is not fixed. It is called variable oxidation state. Similarly, magnesium, which shows plus 1 to plus 7 oxidation state. Chromium shows plus 1 to plus 3 oxidation state. Right? So it is called variable oxidation state. The oxidation state is not fixed. The most of the metals used as a catalyst, like this, right? For example, sulfur dioxide react with the oxygen. So we need here the vanadium V2O5, vanadium pentoxide catalyst, to form 2SO3. Right, students? Next is the F block elements. So the two rows of element at the bottom of the periodic table called as a lanthanide, and there is the actinides. So two rows are there. The two rows of the element we call it a, one is lanthanide, another is the actinides. Right, students? So lanthanide, which contains cerium to lutetium, atomic number 58 to 71, and actinides, the atomic number thorium to lawrencium, atomic number 90 to 103. So characterized by these are the general electron configuration is NF, N minus 2, F electron 1 to 14, N minus 1, D, that is 1 to 10, and NS2. Right, students? So last electron added to the each element, the F orbitals. So what are the electron? Why it is called these elements? We call the F block element, because the outermost electron, last electrons are occupied in the F orbitals. Right, students? The two series of elements, hence is called the inner transition elements, because so these two elements, the F block elements are originally it's situated in the lanthanide and actinide. So it is called as the inner transition element, because the lanthanide actinides are the belongs to the transition elements, right? So these transition elements, inside the few more elements are present, that is called as the inner transition element. So within the each series, the property of the element is quite similar. So the chemistry of the actinide is more complicated than the lanthanides. Why it is complicated? Because reasons are here I mentioned, students. Due to the law of oxidation state, right? The actinides which show the more number of oxidation state than the lanthanide. If lanthanides are shown oxidation state plus 2 plus 3 or plus 4, but actinides what plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, like this to show the high oxidation state. And one more reason why it is more stable, actinides are more stable, because actinides 5f orbital binding energy is higher or stronger than the lanthanides. So when the actinide elements are bonded with the any species, they bond more strongly with actinides. So that's why the bonding energy is so stronger. So the actinides are the more complicated than the actinides, right? Sorry, actinides are more complicated than the lanthanides. So actinide elements are radioactive elements. Most of the actinide elements are the radioactive. Radioactive means, so these elements which are emitting the alpha ray, x-ray, they are emitting emitting the continuously emitting, and these are continuously the dissociation, disintegrated, that is called as a radioactive. Many actinides have been made by the nanograms. Though their size is very nanograms, students, nanograms, and these are the even lost by these are even lost by the nuclear attractions. These are lost by nuclear attraction, students. So because of the phi orbital binding energy is higher here, actinides. So many actinide elements have been made by the nanogram. These are available in very small quantity, students. Is a nano quantity these are available, so it is called nanogram, and it is used in the nuclear reactions. Nuclear reactions in the chemistry not fully studied. So uranium called as the uranium. So these elements, what are the radioactive elements are there? Radioactive elements use in the nuclear reactions. So in the nuclear reaction, so element after uraniums called as the transuraniums. Element after the uranium called as a transuranium. Why it is called a transuranium? Because, students, so because these are used in the nuclear reactor. These are emitting the large amount of the alpha, beta, gamma, X-ray radiations. So that's why it is called the transuranium. They change their size and then the radiation also. So metal, non-metals in the metalloids. So the so metal non-metals are occupying on the SPDF block of the element, right? So elements are divided in the SPDF elements. Again, their nature classified as a metal, non-metals in the metalloids. Three types they are classified. So the more than 78% is known element appears on the left side of the periodic tables. So the what are the metal non-metals are there? Metals are comprises more than 78%. All known element appears on the left side of the periodic tables. All known elements. Okay. The what are the metals is there? The metal which is the exist, there is a 78%. 78% from the left side of the periodic tables. So more the hit, the what are the periodic table is there? The periodic table means the 70%, 78%, almost 78% which the metal is exist here. Right, students, in the periodic tables. So metals are usually the solid at the room temperature, the except of mercury. The mercury is only the metal which exists, which the mercury only the metal which exists in the liquid state. And the gallium, cesium, which also very low melting point. Gallium which also exists in the liquid state, students. Right, students. So and these are a very low melting point. And these are the very good conductor of the heat and electricity. Malleable in nature because we are easily drawn into the when we are beaten with hammer, it turns into thin sheet again beaten, it turns into the foil, students. The foil, which the aluminum foil which is used in the packing food material, the wrapper of the chocolates, cigarettes, they are used here. and ductile, they're drawn into the wire. The metals are top right hand side of the periodic table. In fact, the horizontal row of the element change from metallic to the non-metallics. So what are the horizontal row is there? The horizontal row in which the when you are moved from left to right, it turns into metallic to the non-metallic property. So metals are usually solid or gas at room temperature, the low melting point and boiling point. So most of the non-metals solid, brittle, neither malleable or ductile. Right, students? Okay. The element becomes more metallic as we go down the groups. For example, the lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium. So in which when you move top to bottom, the bottom of the elements are more metallic than the top of the elements. Why? Because these are more easily donate electrons. Their ionization enthalpy is very less, so that's why it is more metallic in nature. And change so the change from the metallic to the non-metals, the abrupt as the zigzag motions. When they change from metallic to the non-metals, the zigzag motion exists in the periodic table. Students, I will show you. So these the silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, titanium, the diagonal across this periodic table, and these are the semi-metals. Semi-metals means which are exhibiting the both property metal as well as the non-metals. Right, students? So this is about the today topic, students. If you find it enjoyed, then ask me, students. Thank you so much.